Welcome to HEE 2449, Business Plan Preparation and Presentation. You are now in your fourth year. You're going out there to start your own business, and this is my intention, that you cannot start a business without a business plan. Indeed, this unit is supposed to be a seminar, and it seeks to expose you to the theoretical but also practical perspectives on business planning in enterprise development. So the university purpose of this unit requires that you come up with actual business plans ready for implementation. Therefore, you become a doer and not just a thinker. And indeed, when you are a doer, you're going to be a millionaire. When you are a thinker, you're going to remain an employee. So this unit wants you to be that, to be a doer and become a millionaire within a short time. So I'm combining the educational philosophies of Confucius, Edgar, and the learning domains including Bloom's taxonomy. And I want to proudly say that I'm already applying the competency-based curriculum at the university level. Of course, 450 BC, great philosopher, educationist, Confucius, Chinese, says, if you just tell me, I'll forget. But if you show me, I may remember. But if you involve me, I will understand. And therefore, I'm going to involve you rather than just talk to you. And another great educationist says that if we just give lectures to our students, they will only retain 5%. But if we make them do practical work, projects, and then come and present in the class, they will retain up to 90. Which means, of the three domains of learning, the cognitive means getting knowledge just in the head, reasoning, critical analysis, philosophizing, theorizing. Affective means feeling it, owning it, and creating an attitude towards. And psychomotor means now putting your hands on it and doing it. And therefore, I am introducing you to this lecture, the cognitive domain, but you will go and make your own business plan and come present it and probably start your business. So the assignment is alone or in a group of not more than 3, identify a business opportunity and write a business plan for it. A simple business plan. Don't go complex. The business plan should help you start that business. So you choose an opportunity, practice this business plan, and start that business. Remember, nobody becomes a millionaire working for another. That's my philosophy. So don't look at going out there and getting wage employment. Talk about starting your own business and indeed employing others. So first things first. My assumption is that you have a business idea for which you are preparing a business plan. But if you don't have an idea, winning business ideas offer a solution to a problem in the market. So look at a problem that is existing, a shortage, a deficiency, somebody not doing well in their business, and that will be an opportunity that you want to dwell on. Like, how can I improve this? How can I be better than this? You know, and that way you will be sure you're on the right track. So there is this model that identify the problem, discover the problem, define this problem, and therefore plan, develop the plan, and the solution, deliver the solution. So we are saying, there is a problem, you plan, and you offer solution. So, discover what people want, but is lacking or deficient. What does the market want? What do people want, and yet it is not there or is deficient? Then define it very well. That which people want, but it's not there. Or that which you want, better ways of doing something. And then develop a plan for its solution. And indeed, you'll set up a business to offer that solution. For example, some people want education, but they don't want to take leave from work to go to get that education. So why don't you start a program that teaches people while they are still at work without them getting leave? That's okay. Some people want a one-stop shop for all their needs. They are driving, they want to take out their children, they want to go to a film, they want to go to a bank. So if you can have a complex, a business model that takes care of all that, then you will be home and dry. So the best business plan is written by the business person himself or herself. If written by someone else, then let that someone walk the implementer through it thoroughly. It is a business plan, it is your idea. If I'm going to write for you, then you're going to implement my business plan, not your business plan. But if I have to write for you, then make sure that I come and carry you through it so that you own it. But if you just take my complete business plan, you ask somebody to do a business plan and you go and implement it, you are going to have problems. Try to do it yourself. Let the consultant do somebody do it for you, but then sit you down and carry you through it so that you internalize and own it. So, we are saying there is you. We call this one the Johari window. There are things that are known to yourself and the things that you don't know about yourself. Then others know you, but others don't know you. So, your open self is the intersection of known to yourself and known to others. The open self. There is some blind parts on you. You don't know yourself, but others know you. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. For example, you don't know that you snore at night, but your spouse knows it. So, there are certain things, you don't know your back at the the color of your back is, but your friend knows it. So, yes, there was one time I went home to my rural areas and the people started telling me to stand for politics. I said, me? Politics? I've never seen a politician in me, but the people outside think that I'm a politician. Of course, I didn't go for it because I consider politics a dirty game. I want to say that as far as I'm concerned, I belong to AGIP. That's my party. AGIP is the actual government in power. I will do development, I will work with the government power, and forget about those active politics. Then there is the hidden self here. You know yourself, but you have hidden secrets. You have not allowed friends to know about you. And of course, there is the unknown self, because we are always developing. So what I'm saying is that if you can use your open self to do your business plan, if you can eliminate these hidden and unknown places, unknown selves, you'll be in a better position than if you just go buy a business plan and come to implement it. You struggle. You may win, but you might struggle. So, and now for some basic definitions. A business is an activity entered into for profit. You see? This business, any activity that you enter in for profit, we shall call it a business. In this particular respect, because you are doing business planning. There is this, the 34th president of the USA, Dwight Eisenhower. He said, in preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Yeah. He was an army general before he went to become the president of the USA. And he said, plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Look at that philosophy. A plan is a look into the future, a proposal for doing or achieving something. A plan is a statement of intent, means to accomplish a goal. So, the plan may not go, the result may not go as planned, but the exercise of doing the plan is indispensable because it helps you work through, it helps you understand, even if the result may not be so, but you have understood the environment, you have understood yourself, and therefore, that's why he says, planning is indispensable, even if plans are not always achieved as planned. So, he says business planning, objectives, vision, key to success, we shall look at them. A business plan is a written document describing how a business is going to carry out its activities to make profit. You see, business plan, SWOT analysis, training, goal management, all these are things that will go into your business plan. A business plan is a written document which describes how a business is going to carry out. Don't just start and go and start a shop. Write down how you are going to carry out that shop, how you are going to manage it, who is going to be your customer, who is going to be your supplier. When you work through that before you go into business, I have seen many people to start shops, but they don't know where the wholesale for sugar is. So when they have opened the doors, is when they start asking a neighbor, where do we get sugar? That's a mistake. We write business plan because it helps one understand the business one is in. It helps identify the required human and financial resources, as well as the market and how competition can be dealt with. If you don't know your competitors and you're going in that business, you are in big trouble. Because the competitors could be too strong, you don't know their weaknesses, you will fail faster than you went in. That's why we have very high mortality of startups in Kenya. Because people go in and trial and error, the Me Too syndrome, without me thinking about it. Mind you, yes, we have said that business is a document, a business plan is a document, but sometimes not every business plan could be written on a paper. You can have your thinking in the head, put them together. When I go into business, you think about it and you store it in head, but it's best if it's written because you can refer to it. So, the general planning process, where are we now? You do what we call the situation analysis or the SWOT. Where are we going? Or where am I now? Here I am, I'm just a student. Where am I going? I want to own my own house. That's where I want to go. How shall I get there? How shall I own my own house? Through some business, hawking and all that. And then, how shall I know that I've arrived? The monitoring and evaluation. These questions are important to think over before you go into that business. The planning process. You set your objective. You set where you want to go. Then determine how to accomplish those objectives. Then implement the plan and monitor and evaluate. A very brief. I said we are going to be simple. You know, you get the idea, you analyze the idea, you forecast what you're supposed to get, then you develop it, implement, and evaluate. Simple, short steps for doing your business plan. Here it is again. The objective, the market. You want, like now, to provide eco-friendly compact incubator at low cost. That's what you want to do because there are competitors with very high cost. So you say that I want to provide eco-friendly compact incubator at low cost. Incubator for incubating the eggs. Then the target market, people living in underdeveloped areas, Pakistan. I'm using an international example here. Then who are the competitors? Then you do your marketing plan, how you will compete. And then you budget. Then your financial projections. Will I be profitable? When will my returns start coming? Then how will I manage? Who will manage? Who will be my chief executive? Is it a one-man business? If you are a group of people, who will do what roles? And then contingent plan. Suppose this doesn't work, what we do? So this is another process of business planning. So the key questions for a business plan are what? What is the problem or the pain in the market? You know? And why is it a problem? You might want to go, it's a problem, but people have tried. You are not the first person. You might find that there is no solution. So first of all, you ask, why is it a problem? And think about it. How will you address this problem? I was talking to a group of university students in my constituency, in my village, who are forming up a group, and they are thinking of going into business, but they are not yet settled on what business. And my advice was, go around, look around, go around your town or where you want to locate your business. No, they come from Bungoma County. Go to Bungoma, go to Kitale, and then just walk around and look at the existing businesses. Identify those ones that you think are doing very well. The ones ones that are very successful. And don't ask me, how do I measure success? Let it be your own subjective. Because when you go to business, it is you will be running that business. So you just using your subjective judgment, say this business is very successful. Then identify those ones that are not successful. And then sit down and start thinking, although these ones are successful, but I think they could even be more successful. If you can think that there's something that you can do to make the successful ones even more successful, then that's your niche. Because you can now start it and go and address, implement that what you think can make more successful, and you'll beat that one that's existing. Look at those ones that are not successful and see why are they not successful. If you identify why they are not successful, you know the answers, then you go in that business, you apply those answers, you'll be better than them. But for heaven's sake, you go, you look at the business, it's very successful, and you cannot figure out how better it could be, and then you also start it, you will not commit. So, how will I address that problem? Where will I address it from? That's the location. Where do you want to locate your business? And then who will I work with to address it? That's now your management. And finally, when shall I reap the benefit? Financials, extrapolate. We call it break-even analysis. How much will you sell to break even? When I was talking, when there was retrenchment in this country, Kenya, there was the golden handshake. The government, the Bretton Woods institutions, the World Bank and IMF had wanted Kenya to send home or reduce the big public sector. But then they said, if we are going to retrench people from the public sector, what will they do at home? So they came with a program of training them so that when they go home, they start their own businesses. The philosophy was, we have a lot, people, the purchasing power, the people in the public sector are getting salaries, but the public sector does not produce goods to send on the market. It doesn't produce unga. It doesn't produce vegetable oil. But because it is giving salaries, people are competing for the little unga that is being produced by only one or two companies. So the argument was, or the philosophy was, if we can also make these people that were retrenching to start also producing products, then we shall have more products on the market. And that in economic sense is good, because when there are more, when the supply is very high, the prices go low. So there was this person who I advised. They were getting only 40,000 Kenya shillings as golden handshake. But the man wanted to start a minibus business. And a minibus is about $1 million or so. So he says, with the 40,000, I'm not able to start my minibus. So I told him, fine, convert those 40,000 into bicycles. At that time, they was called border bicycles, ferrying people from point A, point B. And then, through calculations, to cut the long story short, he would be getting 30,000 Kenya shillings in the first month. He would have spent 40,000 Kenya shillings to get the 10 bicycles. So in the first month, he will get 30,000. In the middle of the second month, he will get another 10, and therefore his 40 will come back after 1.25 months. Now that's what we call break-even point. You calculate, when shall I return my initial input and start making profit? You guess, and therefore you know when will you sacrifice, because sometimes you get money now and you think that's profit, yet it's just cash. So that's what we're talking about. When, think about it. When will I reap the benefits? So the business plan has certain sections. The first section is the product or the service description. Describe what you are in. What product? Why are you going in that product? And then the second section is the market and the competitive analysis. Who are your competitors? How are you going to market? The detail of the market plan. And then how are you going to manage? How are you going to manage this business? Management and operations go hand in hand. And finally, the financial projection. How much do I need? How much will I get back? What? And when you have done all this, is when now you come to do the executive summary. The executive summary is the first in the business plan, but it is the last to write, because you now summarize this. Maybe 2 sentences on this, 2 sentences on this, 2 sentences, and then you make the executive summary. So these are the basic business plan sections. The executive summary, as I say, it is first to be read, but last to be written. That, by the rule of thumb, in the executive summary, you summarize each section in at most 4 sentences to make the executive summary. So you executive summary. Keep your language strong and positive. Polish your executive summary. Focus on providing a summary. Keep it short. Tailor it to your audience and make it summary, real summary. Don't write another business plan within a summary. 1 page is good enough for your executive summary. Then the product or the service description. You are going, look, product line, a group of related products that the company, you describe all the products that you want, in detail, the product that you want to produce. That's the product or service. Step 1, explain what the product does, how it works, and how it can be put to commercial or consumer use. Describe that, the product. Step 2, write a description of the product's physical characteristics, including the colors, the finishes, the sizes, specification, and ingredients. Use photographs, diagrams, and other graphics to help the reader learn about the product. Step 3, compare the product to those of competitors. Tell how the company's product is better than the competing product. Discuss its potential in the marketplace. Include the results of any market trials, if you have done so, surveys or focus groups. Step 4, describe the product's benefits to the customer. Why will they buy it? For example, if the product reduces wrinkles on the face, saves money or increases efficiency, explain in detail how it does each of these things. If there is a family product, discuss the customer benefits to each one. Step 5, explain any liability issues associated with the product, if applicable. If you have consulted with a lawyer about these issues, provide a summary of those discussions in the business plan. So this is how you are going to write your section 1, the product service description. Then section 2 is the market analysis. This is a market. Welcome to Makola market. All this is a market. Describe it. What are you seeing on this? You are seeing people, you are seeing customers, you are seeing stores, you are seeing people buying. So, component 1, the market description. Describe the size, the value, the history, the recent growth trends, anticipated future growth, and any barriers in the market. Outline your customer profile in terms of demographics. Are they going to be for children, for ladies, for women only, for the old? Geographics, where are you going to, is it going to be in East Africa, in Kenya, in Western Kenya? And the psychographics. Determine which variables relate to your business and potential customers. Geographic means specific regions, cities, and densities. Demographics means age, sex, family size. Describe if they are students, this is for students, do it. Psychographic, social class, if it's for the poor, for the rich, and all that. Then component number 3, competition. Identify and discuss each major player currently operating within the industry. What products do your competitors sell? How do competitor products compare to yours? How are competitor products similar or dissimilar to your products? Do competitors identify specific markets or cater to the mass market? Why do consumers purchase the products of competitors? All this thinking and analysis will help you place your product. Because if you cannot get a better placement, then you are not going to compete. You are going to fail. Then component 4, the market plan. Describe the pricing strategy, the distribution strategy, the advertising, promotion strategy. Here we have market and segment strategies. Like types of marketing strategies. Either niche marketing, trade show marketing, all these, look at this advertisement that we are saying, or you can cut, rest, shop, look, guerrilla marketing. So you are going to describe the strategies that you are going to use to sell, the strategy that you are going to use to advertise, whether you are going to do guerrilla marketing or not, and so forth. So, outline how you plan to market and sell your product. Consider the factors like your marketing or communication channels, marketing goals, marketing budgets, resources, etc. Pay attention to your sales targets, sales tools, and the goals of a marketing plan. Buyer understanding, who are the buyers, how do they go about buying your type of product, what marketing messages do they respond to? You looked at this. Look at this. Do they respond to this advertisement better? Which marketing programs will they respond to? Then the sales. Bring sales up to speed on product and buyer profiles. Give sales effective tools and all that. Then track the customers and the interactions with your company at every stage of the buying cycle. So this, you are doing your marketing. Then your organization structure and management, just create the positions. Which positions are you going to have? If this is the CEO, then there may be the marketing manager, production manager, and you are going to imagine, if it's just a one person, mama, papa business, or if it's a company. So you figure out the functions, the positions in your business, whether you need a marketing man, and then a production person, and then the overall, the clerks and all that. Then draw your marketing, the organizational plan. So the organizational structure and management, who are the key personnel involved? List them down in this section along with the expertise. Use an organizational chart to represent your team. This is the chart that I'm talking about. Use it to represent the team, their roles and skills. It can help you highlight the hierarchy of your organizational structure as well. And then finally, the financial plan. Financial process. 1, identify your needs and objectives, gather the information, analyze the information and develop the plan the presentation and delivery, implement the plan, and review. You see, step 1, determine your current financial status, develop your financial goals, convert financial goals into plan, evaluate. So, financial plan is a step-by-step process. In the financial plan, it will include both the historical data, such as the cash flow statements, the profit and the loss statements, the income statements, etc., and the financial projections based on the impact of your new product. If you are pitching a new product to your investors, you may also want to include your funding requirements. How much money do you need to start this business? So, the key financial statements, an accountant can do this for you, is the balance sheet, the income statement, and the cash flow statement. Those are the key. The balance sheet is a statement of assets. What assets do you have? What liabilities do you have? And the shareholders' equity. Assets represent things of value that a company owns and has in its possession, or something that will be received and can be measured objectively. Liabilities are the things that are owed. Equity is ownership. For example, if you own a car with that much, 2 million, but you owe 1 million on that vehicle, then the car represents only 1.5 equity. Here it is. The business was an example of a balance sheet. The assets are here. The current assets, you have cash, you have what you will be receiving, you have what you prepaid in rent, maybe you already paid in rent. If you go through this statement, it will show you the total assets, and then you got the liabilities. Whatever liabilities that you have, they will also balance, and that's what we call it, balance sheet. So you must develop the assets that you have and what you owe. That's the balance sheet. The concept of balance sheet, you can now go through the items of balance sheet. The items to be shown on the liabilities, there's the equity and the liabilities. The equity is stakeholders' capital, reserves, and surplus. Liabilities are the long-term liabilities and the current liabilities. Your assets are your fixed assets like houses and all that. Investments that you have, long-term loans and advances, and the current assets. The fixed assets are those tangible fixed assets and even intangible fixed assets. And then the income statement is a summary of the revenues and expenses generated by the company over the entire reporting period. the income statement, also called the profit and loss statement, it shows the income, expenses, and the resulting profits or losses of a company during a specific period. You see the income statement now? Your revenues, what gains you have gotten, the expenses, and the losses. And then you have the net income. Now, this is a single step income statement that you can use. An example, pause your video, look at it, and then see whether you can use it as your template. I want to say that the cash flow is very important. It summarizes of the amount of cash and cash equivalents entering and leaving a company. The cash flow statement shows the entity's performance in terms of cash flows from where the cash inflows have come and to where they are going. Picture it this way, that this is your company. The cash is coming in from revenue, from sales. When you sell, you get revenue, they come in. But there is also cash coming out, costs of production. You are receiving money and you are buying money, and therefore, you are buying things, expenses, paying taxes, paying employees, buying goods, and then when you sell, you get. So, this is the water coming in, cash in hand. Will it depend on the balance between cash outflows and cash inflows? Let's see. Statement of cash and cash flows. Operating activities, day-to-day operations, investing activities, and financial activities. What are operating activities? The daily core business operations, like receipts from sales. What are investments that the company makes, e.g. the purchase of sale of assets? And what are financial transactions, e.g. dividends paid? I know for you are writing this business plan, some of this will not apply. I said, make yours as simple as possible. So for that matter, let me give you a simple one here for a cash flow. You will have to write your months, at least 12 months, month 1, month 2, month up to 12. Then you are going to say cash in. Maybe you had a balance, maybe not. As for you, I think you may not have a. So you are estimating. Let's say you want to start a restaurant, and you say that in day 1, I am planning to sell only 3 cups, and every cup costs 5 shillings, so you expect 15. Then you say, as I stabilize, you estimate accurately that as I go on monthly, they will be increasing, because you have done your due diligence. You have seen how other restaurants are doing it, how competitors are doing it, and you have seen that this competitor is selling 3 cups because of this deficiency. And you know that if I correct this mistake, I will sell 5 cups. So you can estimate. These are estimates. Then cash says, maybe there are others. Let's say you are doing poultry. You say, I'm going to sell eggs. But as I sell eggs, I will also be selling manure, because my chicken will be staying in a chicken house with sawdust, and when the excreta goes on the sawdust, it becomes manure. So I'll be selling eggs, but I was also selling manure. And or else, when you are buying the chicken feed, you are buying them in gunny bags. Maybe you are going to collect those gunny bags and also sell them. So you can put other sales here, the main sales here, and then you get the total in every month. Then you come to cash out. You'll be buying some materials, you'll be paying some wages. You remember to pay yourself also a wage. You'll be buying some equipment. You total all this and you put them in those. So now you get the total out. You see now, when you compare the total in here and the total out here, if this is 20 and this is 25, then here you have a loss. Because the balance either is positive or is negative, depending on the total here. So this will give you, so if you have done your account very well, you will find that there is the initial cost, the starting cost, which I've not shown here. You see now that the total out will always, will be more than the total in. So let's say the initial startup capital plus the raw materials came to 100. When you just started your business, you spent 100. And in month 1, you got an income of only 10. Then you know that you are negative 90. Then some of these costs will remain the same, but the sales here will be increasing. So this negative will be changing. And when they balance here, when it is now 0 and they balance, then you say you have broken even. So now what goes on will be profit. So this is an important forecast cash flow that you can best do when you have actually done due diligence, espionage, and seeing how others are doing it. So I want to leave you with more of these channels of mine. They will help you again in business planning to improve your own business plan. I thank you, and I'm looking forward to getting your basic business plan, simple business plan that you can use to start your own business. Thank you very much.